In 2013, researchers at the University of Mississippi Medical Center put chicken nuggets under a microscope and published their findings in the American Journal of Medicine. One nugget was only 50% actual meat. The rest was fat, blood vessels, nerves, and bone fragments. The second nugget was even worse, at just 40%. That study is over a decade old, and the frozen aisle has barely improved. These are the 10 frozen chicken nugget brands you need to stop buying immediately, plus 4 that are actually made with real chicken. Let's get into it. 10. Fast Fixin'. Starting at number 10, Fast Fixin' is the kind of frozen nugget that fills your cart when the price tag matters more than the ingredient list. And the ingredient list shows exactly where those savings come from. The brand uses what the industry calls chicken breast with rib meat, which sounds acceptable until you look at what that actually means. The meat is ground down, combined with water, soy protein concentrate, and sodium phosphates, then mechanically formed into nugget shapes before being coated in a breading that contains more individual ingredients than the chicken filling itself. Each 5-piece serving delivers around 230 calories, 460 milligrams of sodium, and only 11 grams of protein. For perspective, nearly half of those calories come from fat and refined carbohydrates in the breading, not from actual chicken. The full ingredient list stretches past 30 items, including textured soy flour, modified cornstarch, dextrose, sodium acid pyrophosphate, and autolyzed yeast extract, which is a flavor enhancer that works almost identically to MSG without triggering the same label scrutiny. The soy protein isn't a minor ingredient here either. Both soy protein concentrate and textured soy flour appear in the filling, meaning a meaningful portion of each nugget is reconstituted soy rather than poultry. The breading itself uses bleached enriched flour that has been stripped of its natural nutrients and then artificially fortified, combined with yellow corn flour and modified food starch to produce that uniform golden crunch. Consumer complaints consistently mention a mushy, paste-like interior that bears no resemblance to sliced chicken breast. That texture is the direct result of mechanical forming, water injection, and phosphate binders turning natural chicken into an industrial slurry before it ever reaches the fryer. At its price point, consumers assume they are simply getting a cheaper version of a name brand nugget. In reality, they are getting chicken-flavored soy and breading held together by sodium phosphates and injected water. The frying oils used include soybean oil, which is one of the most heavily processed cooking oils on the market and a major source of omega-6 fatty acids that the average American diet already contains far too much of. The breading-to-meat ratio alone should be a warning sign. When you bite through that crispy shell, what's left inside barely qualifies as chicken, and at 460 milligrams of sodium from a product that usually gets eaten as a side dish or snack rather than a full meal, those numbers compound fast, especially for older adults watching their blood pressure. 9. Weaver. At number 9, Weaver has been a familiar name in the frozen chicken aisle for decades, but familiarity should not be confused with quality. Weaver is owned by Tyson Foods, and while it operates as its own brand, it inherits the same industrial-scale production methods that prioritize volume over ingredient integrity. In August 2019, Tyson recalled approximately 39,078 pounds of Weaver brand frozen chicken patties after consumers reported finding extraneous material in the product. That recall covered products shipped to retail stores nationwide and came after customer complaints about foreign objects embedded in the chicken. The nuggets themselves follow the standard budget brand blueprint. The primary ingredient is chicken breast with rib meat, followed by water, soy protein concentrate, and a long tail of binders, fillers, and flavor enhancers. Sodium phosphates appear early in the list, serving as moisture retention agents that allow the manufacturer to inject water into the meat and charge consumers chicken prices for added water weight. The breading relies on bleached wheat flour, cornstarch, and dextrose, a simple sugar that promotes browning during frying, but adds empty carbohydrates to every serving. Each serving delivers modest protein relative to its calorie and sodium load, with fat contributing a disproportionate share of the total energy. The autolyzed yeast extract that appears in the seasoning blend functions as a glutamate-based flavor booster, compensating for the fact that heavily processed, water-injected chicken doesn't taste like much on its own. Consumer reviews on major grocery platforms frequently note that Weaver nuggets taste spongy or rubbery compared to competitors. That's the signature of a formed product where the chicken has been ground, bound with soy protein, and compressed into shapes rather than being cut from whole muscle. For a legacy brand that many families grew up trusting, Weaver delivers a product that is functionally indistinguishable from generic store-brand nuggets at a slightly higher price point. The 2019 recall should have been a wake-up call, but the brand has done little to differentiate itself from the cheapest options on the shelf. And it's worth noting what extraneous material means in USDA language. It refers to physical contaminants that should not be present in food, including metal fragments, rubber, plastic, and other foreign objects that enter the product during manufacturing. When a recall notice uses that phrase, it means something that isn't food was found inside food. For a brand owned by the largest chicken processor in the country, that kind of failure raises questions about the speed and oversight of the production lines making these products. 8. Pilgrim's Pride. At number 8, Pilgrim's Pride is one of the largest chicken producers in the United States, processing billions of pounds of poultry every year. But scale does not equal quality, and this company's track record raises serious questions about what ends up in your freezer. In 2020, Pilgrim's Pride pleaded guilty to federal charges of conspiring to fix prices on broiler chickens. The company paid a $107 million fine after the Department of Justice found that Pilgrim's had coordinated with competitors to inflate chicken prices for years, directly affecting what consumers paid at the grocery store. The company's former CEO, Jason Penn, was indicted on price-fixing conspiracy charges in the same investigation. When the people running a chicken company are more focused on rigging the market than improving their product, it tells you where their priorities sit. Their retail frozen nuggets reflect that mindset. The ingredient profile follows the commodity playbook: chicken breast with rib meat, water, soy protein isolate, modified food starch, sodium phosphates, and a breading built on enriched bleached flour. The company's antibiotic policy is particularly vague. Their website states that hatcheries have been antibiotic-free since 2016, but acknowledges that antibiotics are still used if recommended by a veterinarian. That's a significant caveat, because it means the birds can receive antibiotics during their growing phase, which is when the majority of antibiotic use in poultry actually occurs. Compare that to brands that commit to zero antibiotics at any point in the animal's life. The sodium content per serving runs high, consistent with heavy phosphate use to retain water and increase product weight. Consumer transparency is minimal. Pilgrim's does not publish detailed sourcing information for its retail products, and the ingredient lists vary between product lines with little explanation. For a company convicted of conspiring to overcharge American families for chicken, the idea that their frozen nuggets represent good value is worth questioning. You're paying inflated prices for a commodity product made with fillers, injected water, and vague animal welfare standards. The price-fixing conviction alone should give consumers pause. The Department of Justice found that Pilgrim's conspired to coordinate pricing across the industry, meaning American families were paying artificially inflated prices for chicken for years before it was caught. That $107 million fine sounds large, but for a company processing billions of pounds of poultry annually, it amounts to a fraction of the revenue generated during the conspiracy. if a company is willing to rig the market to overcharge you, the idea that they're investing in premium ingredients for their budget. Nuggets is hard to take seriously. 7. Great value, Walmart. At number 7, Great Value is Walmart's house brand, and its frozen chicken nuggets are among the best-selling budget nuggets in the country. The low price moves massive volume, but the trade-offs show up immediately on the ingredient panel. The product label reads fully cooked breaded nugget-shaped chicken breast patties with rib meat, and that wording is carefully chosen. Calling them nugget-shaped chicken breast patties rather than chicken breast nuggets signals that this is a formed product, not whole pieces of breast meat cut into nugget shapes. The chicken is combined with water, soy protein concentrate, and textured soy protein concentrate, both appearing separately in the ingredient list, meaning soy filler shows up twice. Sodium phosphates bind the injected water to the meat, inflating the weight and texture. The Environmental Working Group flagged Great Value chicken nuggets for high sodium content relative to recommended daily intake, with a single serving delivering a significant dose of sodium from multiple sources in the formulation. The breading uses enriched bleached flour, yellow corn flour, modified cornstarch, and dextrose, producing that familiar golden crust that contributes more to the product's calorie count than the chicken inside. The seasoning blend includes autolyzed yeast extract for flavor enhancement and spice extractives that replace real spice ingredients with concentrated chemical derivatives. At roughly 190 calories and 430 milligrams of sodium per serving, Great Value nuggets deliver a sodium to protein ratio that nutritionists consistently flag as unfavorable. You're absorbing more salt per gram of protein than you would from nearly any other protein source in the grocery store. Consumer feedback across retail platforms mentions inconsistent quality between batches, with some bags producing reasonably firm nuggets and others yielding soft, doughy interiors. That inconsistency reflects the reality of sourcing from multiple contracted manufacturers, because Walmart does not produce its own food. Different facilities, different quality control standards, and different batches of commodity chicken all end up under the same Great Value label. For the millions of families buying these weekly, the savings at the register come at a measurable nutritional cost. And the sodium question is particularly relevant for older adults. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, with an ideal limit closer to 1,500 milligrams for those over 50 or managing blood pressure. A single serving of Great Value nuggets delivers nearly a third of that stricter target from what is usually eaten as a snack, not a full meal. Pair those nuggets with ketchup or a dipping sauce, and you're well past 500 milligrams from one sitting. 6. Kid Cuisine. At number 6, Kid Cuisine takes everything concerning about budget frozen nuggets and markets it directly to children, which makes it one of the most troubling products on this list. Made by Conagra Foods, Kid Cuisine packages its chicken nuggets alongside corn, a brownie, and a pudding cup in a brightly colored tray designed to appeal to kids. The Environmental Working Group classifies Kid Cuisine All-Star Chicken Breast Nuggets as an unhealthy ultra-processed food, flagging sodium content at roughly 45% of the Institute of Medicine's recommended adequate intake reference for children. The full meal delivers approximately 450 calories and 670 milligrams of sodium, with 12 grams of added sugars before the child even touches the brownie. The nuggets themselves contain textured soy flour as a filler, autolyzed yeast extract as a flavor enhancer, and multiple forms of sodium phosphate distributed throughout the chicken, breading, and cheese sauce components. The ingredients list for the complete tray reads like a chemistry inventory, spanning dozens of compounds across the nuggets, sides, and dessert. Several of these additives are designed to extend shelf life and maintain texture during freezing, reheating, and the long supply chain that takes a product from factory to school lunchbox. What makes kid cuisine particularly problematic is the audience. Children have smaller bodies, lower recommended sodium thresholds, and developing metabolisms that process these additives differently than adults. Packing 670 milligrams of sodium and 12 grams of added sugar into a single kid's meal and then marketing it with cartoon characters and fun shapes is calculated. The product is engineered to make children ask for it by name, not to nourish them. Parents who grab kid cuisine during a busy weekday assume they are giving their child a reasonable meal. The packaging suggests wholesome fun. The nutrition label tells a different story, and the fact that ConAgra also produces Banquet, which appears later on this list, means the same company is double-dipping in the budget chicken market with two brands, both built on the same filler-heavy formulations. The broader science makes this even more concerning. A 2024 umbrella review published in the BMJ, analyzing data from nearly 10 million participants across 45 studies, found what the researchers called convincing evidence, linking high ultra-processed food consumption to a 50% increased risk of cardiovascular disease mortality and a 12% increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Kid cuisine is, by every definition, an ultra-processed food product being fed to children whose dietary habits are still forming. 5. Banquet. At number 5, Banquet chicken nuggets are among the cheapest frozen nuggets on the shelf, and registered dietitians have repeatedly flagged them as among the unhealthiest. Dietitian Michelle Rauch specifically highlighted the stacked sodium sources in Banquet nuggets, pointing out that sodium phosphates, sodium acid pyrophosphate, sodium bicarbonate, and autolyzed yeast extract all appear in the same product, each contributing its own dose of sodium on top of the added salt. 5 pieces deliver 220 calories, 12 grams of fat, 490 milligrams of sodium, and just 12 grams of protein. Some Banquet nugget varieties use dark meat chicken combined with textured soy flour, isolated soy protein, and chicken skin as filling ingredients. That means you have 3 separate soy-based fillers alongside chicken skin packed into a breading shell of enriched bleached flour and cornstarch. The protein you think you're eating is partially soy, partially skin, and only partially chicken muscle. What makes Banquet's marketing especially misleading is the phrase "made with 100% natural chicken" printed prominently on the packaging. Rauch pointed out that this claim exploits the fact that the FDA considers the term natural ambiguous with no universally accepted definition. The chicken in the product may technically be natural chicken, but the nugget as a whole is loaded with synthetic binders, fillers, and processing aids that are anything but natural. In 2023, ConAgra recalled Banquet chicken strip meals after a consumer reported finding plastic fragments in the product and sustaining a mouth injury. The recall covered product distributed to retail stores nationwide. And this wasn't an isolated incident for ConAgra. The company's track record across its frozen food brands includes multiple contamination events and quality control failures. At its price point, Banquet moves enormous volume in grocery stores across the country. Budget-conscious families rely on it weekly, but the gap between what the packaging implies and what the nutrition panel reveals is one of the widest in the frozen aisle. You are paying for a product that is roughly 1/3 soy filler, 1/3 breading, and 1/3 actual chicken, held together by phosphates and loaded with almost 500 milligrams of sodium per handful. The sodium phosphates deserve extra attention here. Unlike the phosphorus that occurs naturally in meat and dairy, which your body absorbs at around 40 to 60%, the inorganic phosphate additives used in processed foods, like Banquet nuggets, are absorbed at roughly 90%. Health researchers have linked chronically elevated serum phosphate levels to cardiovascular risk, particularly in people with kidney issues. For older adults or anyone eating these regularly, that distinction matters more than the label lets on. 4. Foster Farms. At number 4, Foster Farms carries one of the most alarming food safety records of any major poultry producer in the United States, and it directly affects their frozen nugget products. Between October 2013 and July 2014, a Salmonella Heidelberg outbreak linked to Foster Farms chicken sickened 634 people across 29 states and Puerto Rico. The strain was antibiotic resistant, making treatment more difficult for those infected. Federal food safety inspectors cited Foster Farms facilities for sanitary violations, including the presence of fecal material on chicken carcasses during processing. The outbreak dragged on for nearly a year because the company initially resisted voluntary recall, and the USDA's authority to mandate recalls for salmonella-contaminated chicken was limited at the time. The contamination crisis exposed systemic failures in how Foster Farms handled food safety at multiple production facilities. But the problems did not end with salmonella. In 2016, Foster Farms recalled 220,450 pounds of frozen chicken nuggets after consumers found blue plastic fragments and black rubber pieces embedded in the product. 1 year later, in 2017, the company recalled approximately 65 tons of frozen chicken breast patties, many of which had been sold through Costco, again for plastic contamination. 2 major recalls for foreign objects in 2 consecutive years from the same manufacturer signals a pattern, not an accident. The nuggets themselves follow the standard commodity formulation: chicken breast with rib meat, water, soy protein, sodium phosphates, and a breading heavy on enriched flour and modified starches. But with Foster Farms, the ingredient list is almost secondary to the contamination history. When a company has documented bacterial outbreaks that hospitalized hundreds of people and back-to-back recalls for physical contaminants embedded in their chicken products, the question isn't whether the nuggets taste good. The question is whether you trust the facility that made them. Foster Farms has made improvements since 2014, but the scale and repetition of these incidents places them firmly on the avoid list. And consider the timeline. A bacterial outbreak that sickened over 600 people in 2013 and 2014. A recall for plastic and rubber in nuggets in 2016. Another recall for plastic in patties in 2017. 3 major food safety events across 4 years from the same company, each involving a different type of contamination. The salmonella outbreak alone should have permanently changed how consumers evaluate Foster Farms products, because antibiotic-resistant bacteria is not a routine stomachache. It can mean extended hospitalization, especially for children, elderly individuals, and anyone with a compromised immune system. 3. Perdue. At number 3, Perdue positions itself as a premium chicken brand with commitments to animal welfare and responsible farming. But a single recall in August 2024 shattered that image and exposed a vulnerability that applies to every brand on the shelf. On August 16, 2024, Perdue Foods recalled 167,171 pounds of frozen breaded chicken breast nuggets and tenders after consumers found thin strands of metal wire embedded in the product. Perdue's Senior Vice President of Food Safety and Quality, Jeff Shaw, described the contamination as a very thin strand of metal wire that was inadvertently introduced into the manufacturing process. What made this recall particularly significant is that it didn't just affect Perdue's standard nuggets. The recall swept in Perdue Simply Smart Organics, the company's premium organic product line, and ButcherBox organic chicken nuggets, which Perdue manufactures under contract. Consumers who had specifically paid more for organic, clean-label nuggets from brands like Simply Smart and ButcherBox discovered that their premium product came off the same production line as standard Perdue nuggets and was subject to the same contamination risks. The recall covered products shipped to retailers nationwide and was classified as a Class 1 recall, meaning there was a reasonable probability that consuming the product could cause serious health consequences. Beyond the recall, Perdue's nutritional profile on some product lines raises separate concerns. Their Space Nuggets, marketed with fun shapes to appeal to children, contain 240 calories, 15 grams of fat, 390 milligrams of sodium, and only 10 grams of protein per 4-piece serving. Dietitian Violeta Morris noted that the nutritional breakdown reveals more fat, less protein, sodium, and carbohydrates than the word chicken implies. When a product marketed as chicken delivers more fat than protein per serving, the breading and frying process has overtaken the actual meat as the primary component. The 2024 recall is a reminder that brand reputation and premium pricing do not guarantee a safer product. Metal Wire doesn't care whether it lands in a standard nugget or an organic one. The Purdue recall also revealed something many consumers don't realize about the organic and boutique brands they trust. ButcherBox, a subscription meat service that built its brand on premium sourcing and curated quality, was having its organic chicken nuggets manufactured on the same Purdue production lines as standard products. When you pay premium prices for a boutique brand, you may assume you're getting a product made in a separate, more carefully monitored facility. In many cases, you're getting the same factory with a different label. 2. Tyson. At number 2, Tyson Foods is the largest chicken producer in the United States, and their frozen chicken nuggets are found in virtually every grocery store in the country. They are also the most recalled chicken nugget brand in recent memory, with a pattern of contamination incidents that spans nearly a decade. In November 2023, Tyson recalled 29,819 pounds of its Fun Nuggets, the dinosaur-shaped breaded chicken patties marketed directly to children, after consumers found metal pieces in the product. At least one person reported a minor oral injury. That recall came after a 2019 incident where Tyson recalled approximately 36,420 pounds of chicken nuggets for rubber contamination. Before that, in 2016, Tyson recalled 132,520 pounds of panko chicken nuggets sold through Costco after hard plastic was found inside the product. And in 2019, Tyson expanded a recall of frozen chicken strips to approximately 11.8 million pounds due to metal contamination, one of the largest chicken recalls in USDA history. 4 significant recalls involving foreign objects in under 8 years is not an anomaly. It is a systemic quality control issue. But contamination is only half the story with Tyson. In 2023, Tyson quietly dropped its "No Antibiotics Ever" label from its chicken products after reintroducing ionophores, a class of antibiotics, into its poultry operations. The company rebranded the claim to "No Antibiotics Important to Human Medicine," which is a significantly weaker standard. This label change came years after Tyson had already been caught misleading consumers about antibiotics. Between 2008 and 2010, Tyson settled class action lawsuits over its "raised without antibiotics" marketing claims after it was revealed that the company had been injecting eggs with gentamicin, an antibiotic, before hatching. Tyson paid an estimated $5 million in consumer settlements. So the same company that was sued for falsely claiming its chicken was antibiotic-free later launched a "No Antibiotics Ever" label, then quietly abandoned that label too. The nutritional profile of standard Tyson nuggets follows the expected pattern. Chicken breast with rib meat, water, soy protein, sodium phosphates, and an enriched flour breading with autolyzed yeast extract. The Environmental Working Group flagged Tyson nuggets for delivering approximately 27% of the Institute of Medicine's sodium reference per serving. When you combine repeat contamination recalls, antibiotic marketing deception, and class action settlements into a single brand profile, Tyson represents the clearest case of a company prioritizing production speed and marketing over product integrity. 1. Morningstar Farms Chicken Nuggets. And at number 1, we have the entry that might surprise you because the worst chicken nugget in the frozen aisle doesn't actually contain any chicken at all. Morningstar Farms chicken nuggets sit in the freezer case alongside real chicken products, packaged in similar-looking bags with similar-looking breaded nuggets on the front. But look at the spelling. That apostrophe in chicken is doing the legal heavy lifting because it signals that this is not chicken. It is a fully plant-based product. The first three ingredients are water, wheat flour, and soy protein concentrate. Further down the list, you'll find soy protein isolate, wheat gluten, vegetable oil from corn, canola, or sunflower sources, and a long tail of processing agents including methylcellulose, modified wheat starch, and natural and artificial flavors. The label also discloses that the product contains a bioengineered food ingredient, which means at least one ingredient is derived from genetically modified organisms. 4 nuggets deliver 200 calories, 460 milligrams of sodium, and 12 grams of protein sourced entirely from soy and wheat, not from animal protein. There is zero cholesterol because there is zero animal product. What earns Morningstar the #1 spot on this list is not that plant-based nuggets exist. Plant-based alternatives have a place on the shelf. The issue is placement and perception. These products are shelved in the frozen chicken section, not in the dedicated plant-based aisle that many stores now maintain. The packaging mimics the size, color scheme, and visual cues of real chicken nugget bags, and the name itself, Chicken Nuggets, is designed to read as chicken nuggets at a glance. Elderly shoppers, distracted parents, and anyone who doesn't carefully inspect every label can easily mistake this for a real chicken product and bring it home without realizing they've purchased a soy and wheat product. When consumer reports and food advocacy groups talk about misleading labeling practices in the frozen aisle, this is exactly what they mean. The product is legal. The label technically discloses its contents, but the marketing, placement, and naming are designed to blur the line between plant-based and poultry. And at 460 milligrams of sodium with a long list of processed soy derivatives, it's not even a particularly clean plant-based option. If you're going to buy plant-based nuggets, buy them on purpose and choose a brand with a shorter, cleaner ingredient list. If you're trying to buy chicken, read the fine print, because the biggest deception in the chicken aisle isn't a bad chicken product. It's a product that was never chicken to begin with. After exposing the worst offenders, here's the good news. These 4 brands prove that frozen chicken nuggets can actually be made with real chicken, clean ingredients, and minimal processing. If you want to keep nuggets in your freezer without the fillers, these are the ones worth buying. Kirkland Signature Chicken Breast Chunks, Costco. Starting our best list at number 4, Costco's Kirkland Signature. Lightly breaded, chicken breast chunks deliver whole muscle chicken at a price that undercuts nearly every premium competitor. The top ingredient is boneless, skinless chicken breast. Not chicken breast with rib meat, not formed patties, but actual pieces of breast meat. No soy protein fillers, no autolyzed yeast extract, no sodium phosphates. The chicken is raised without antibiotics, with no added hormones or steroids. Each 3-ounce serving provides 140 calories, only 5 grams of fat, approximately 530 milligrams of sodium, and 16 grams of protein. That protein-to-calorie ratio is roughly double what you get from banquet or kid cuisine. The chicken inside has a firm, fibrous texture you can actually pull apart, not a mushy paste. A 4-pound bag runs about $18, making Kirkland one of the best value per gram of real protein options in any freezer section. For families buying in bulk, this is the obvious upgrade from budget brands. Clean label, real chicken, and a price that works as a weekly purchase. Applegate Naturals Chicken Nuggets. At number 3, Applegate's Naturals Chicken Nuggets use white meat, chicken raised without antibiotics ever. The birds are humanely raised on vegetarian feed with no animal byproducts. The ingredient list is short and recognizable. white meat chicken, wheat flour, water, rice flour, sea salt, cane sugar, leavening, garlic powder, onion powder, yeast extract, and expeller-pressed sunflower or canola oil. No soy protein fillers, no sodium phosphates, no artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. 6 nuggets deliver approximately 160 calories and 11 grams of protein, with sodium well below the budget brands we covered earlier. The chicken inside maintains whole muscle character rather than the uniform paste you get from formed products. For parents looking for a clean nugget they can feel comfortable packing in school lunches, Applegate is the standard. Their organic line goes further with 100% organic breast, thigh, and rib meat and USDA organic certification across the supply chain. The trade-off is price. Applegate costs more per ounce than Banquet or Great Value, but the price difference reflects a fundamentally different product rather than a marketing upcharge. Just Bare lightly breaded chicken breast chunks. At number 2, Just Bare has gained a dedicated following as the Chick-fil-A nugget dupe, and the comparison is earned. These are real chunks of whole chicken breast, not formed, not ground, not mixed with soy filler. You can see the natural grain of the meat when you break a piece open. Boneless, skinless chicken breast, water, seasoning including salt, sugar, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, celery seed, black pepper, and a light wheat flour breading. No sodium phosphates, no autolyzed yeast extract, no artificial ingredients or preservatives. Each 3-ounce serving delivers approximately 160 calories, 6 grams of fat, about 540 milligrams of sodium, and 16 grams of protein. Consumers who have done side-by-side comparisons with Chick-fil-A nuggets consistently note the similar seasoning profile, crispy breading, and firm, juicy interior. The difference is you're making them at home from a bag with fewer than 15 ingredients, all of which you can pronounce. Just Bare is widely available at Costco, Walmart, Target, and most major grocery chains. For anyone who has been eating Tyson or Banquet and wonders what a real chicken nugget actually tastes like, this is it. Bell & Evans breaded chicken breast nuggets. Taking the number 1 spot, Bell & Evans sets the standard for what a frozen chicken nugget should be. Their nuggets are made from 100% whole breast meat pieces, not ground, not mechanically separated, not chopped and formed. Whole pieces of chicken breast, individually breaded and flash fried in organic expeller-pressed soybean oil. The company explicitly states on its packaging that its chicken is not mechanically chopped or separated meat, a distinction no other major brand makes because they can't. The chicken is air-chilled rather, then submerged in chlorinated water baths, which is the standard cooling method in industrial processing. Air chilling prevents the chicken from absorbing excess water during cooling, so you're paying for meat, not added weight. Each 4-ounce serving delivers approximately 200 calories, 21 grams of protein, and the lowest sodium of any brand reviewed by Clean Plates, whose expert called it the most well-rounded chicken nugget reviewed. 21 grams of protein per serving is nearly double what Banquet delivers. The birds are raised without antibiotics, fed a 100% vegetarian diet, and never given hormones or steroids. Bell & Evans also holds USDA process-verified certification for humane animal care. The one trade-off is that these nuggets are sold uncooked, so you need to cook them to proper internal temperature rather than just reheating. But that also means no preservatives are needed for shelf stability. When you read the ingredient list, you see chicken breast, wheat flour, oil, salt, spices, and leavening. For anyone willing to spend a few extra dollars and a few extra minutes, Bell & Evans proves that a frozen chicken nugget can actually be real food. There you have it. 10 brands to avoid, and 4 that actually deserve your money. Before your next grocery run, check the first ingredient for chicken breast. Keep the ingredient list under 10 items, and if you see soy protein or autolyzed yeast extract, put it back on the shelf. If this changed how you shop, leave a like, comment which brand you want investigated next, and share this with your family. Subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.